Hi Year 4 and welcome to our final session of English this week where we're going to finish writing our eyewitness reports. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's session and I hope you've made a really good start to the first 2 paragraphs of your eyewitness reports. Today we're going to continue straight on to the next paragraph where we're going to be thinking more about the details that happened and perhaps what happened towards the end of the event. Okay, so as we did yesterday, now would be a really good time to stop this video for a moment. Just press pause and head over to the Google Drive, open up the PowerPoint that we're currently looking at and click the link for the YouTube video for Augustus Gloop, just so you can watch the event again so it's fresh in your mind. Okay, so click pause and enjoy. Welcome back. Hope that you've got a really clear picture now then of exactly what happened in the next part of your writing. We're going to move straight into our next paragraph then today, where we're going to be thinking about what happened next. Okay, so yesterday in our writing, we got to the point where Augustus fell in and he was screaming, thrashing around, trying desperately to get himself to the top of the chocolate river. Okay, so I've got my plan there again. So I'm looking at the next section of my plan, paragraph 2 on my plan. And this session today, we're going to be thinking about another one of those writing targets. So far this week, we've already thought about how we can use adverbs of time, and we've already thought about exactly prepositional phrases as well, ticking off those targets still while you're at home. But this session would be a really good opportunity for you to practice using those apostrophes for possession. So remember, we don't always use an apostrophe for possession whenever we see an S. Okay, that's not the rule, and we've looked at that quite a few times this year. We tend to use an apostrophe for possession when something belongs to somebody or something belongs to something. Okay, that's what possession means. So I've given you some examples here, particularly examples that would be relevant to use in our paragraph today. So the boy's face, and I've underlined that to show you that the apostrophe for possession has been used here because the face belongs to the boy. Okay, so the boy's face was squashed tightly as a balloon, okay, in that tube. Another example where you might be able to use one is if you're talking about somebody's voice. So the mother's voice, perhaps. And again, you can see the apostrophe for possession used here because the voice belongs to the mother. Okay. And then 2 examples in this other sentence here. We don't always have to talk about people. We can talk about objects when something belongs to an object as well. So the pipe is going to be something that we're mentioning today in our writing. The pipe's glass, okay? And we can see the glass belongs to the pipe. So we've got the apostrophe for possession included in there. The pipe's glass looked as though it might shatter over Augustus's face at any moment. So we've talked about in class, in our spelling sessions, when we use an apostrophe for possession when there's already an S at the end there. And because we can hear it when we say his name, Augustus's face, we know that we're going to use an apostrophe with the S there. Okay. Sometimes it's the rule where we don't have that second S and we can just have the apostrophe. So we would have this second S missing, and that's absolutely fine too. That's following the rule really well as well. But we know the face belongs to Augustus, so we know we've got the apostrophe for possession in there. Okay, so those are 3 different examples of apostrophes for possession that would be relevant in our writing today. Can you have a go at doing some of your own? See if you can spot them in my example. Okay, so in an instant, you can see I'm still trying to use those adverbs of time from earlier in the week. I haven't forgotten that those features still exist further down. In an instant, the miraculous tube appeared above the river to suck out the contamination. Now, you know that I mean the contamination is Augustus. Okay, he's contaminated poor Willy Wonka's chocolate river. As quick as a flash, Augustus was pulled out of the river and he shot into the tube. The boy's face was squashed as tightly as a balloon. You can see my apostrophe for possession there. Although he started to move to begin with, it wasn't long before he became wedged. Like a baby whale, the boy screamed helplessly while the tube continued to build pressure. So I'm telling the events in the order that I've seen them happen as a witness. Screaming at me, that gloop woman was begging me to do something. What could I do? So I just watched and enjoyed every minute. Suddenly, the tube's glass quivered slightly, and Augustus shot out like a bullet, making his way to the fudge room. Okay, so I've got to the point in my eyewitness report now where I've told all of the events as they've happened in the order. Okay, I've thought about the different techniques that I need to use. I've thought about the different ways I can start my sentences. So you'll notice that I've got a conjunction in here as well. I'm trying to really vary the ways that I use my sentences. But I've got to the stage now in my eyewitness report where I've told everything that's happened. Okay, so now it's your turn. Use this as a guide to help you. Use your plan. See if you can get in some apostrophes for possession. Pause the video now and come back to me when you're ready for the next paragraph. So, we're now on to the final paragraph, our conclusion. And you'll remember from earlier in the week when we looked at Miss Eddleston's example, the conclusion is now starting to think about the eyewitness's opinions, the eyewitness's thoughts, the feelings that he might have, and how we can get those across in the writing. Okay, so I've got the last section from my plan here. I've got my notes there to help me. That was there while I was writing my example. So use your plan, and here's my example to help you. So I've started off with the phrase "in my opinion" because that's one of the features that's included in the eyewitness report. Share the eyewitnesses' opinions. So, in my opinion, the obese little brute got what he deserved. How dare the greedy pig contaminate my finest chocolate? I hope the Oompa Loompas managed to locate him. Who would eat Augustus flavoured chocolate-covered gloop? So I've tried to get the character's viewpoint in there. I've also tried to show the character's personality a little bit. Again, some quite rude phrases that he's used there, but that's exactly the way that Willy Wonka would have talked when I was watching the scene there. Okay, so use that to help you to finish off the final paragraph of your eyewitness report. And then finally, your final task is to then judge, have you got all of those features that we talked about at the beginning of the week? So pop over to the Google Drive and the success criteria list is there for you, and you can just add ticks in the areas that you think that you've included those things. Think about like we do in class. If you think that you've done each feature really well and you've done it throughout every single paragraph, you might want to do a double tick in here to show that yes, you've done that and you've achieved that really well. If you think, yeah, you've kind of done that feature, but perhaps haven't included it all the time, and perhaps that's something you can work on, then that might just be one tick in one of the boxes. Okay, maybe some adverbs of time, but maybe not lots, maybe just one tick. If there's a feature that you haven't included at all, leave it blank, and you know that that's something that you'll need to focus on for next time. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed writing your eyewitness reports. I can't wait to see them, so please email them in. I would love to have a good read. I'd really love to be able to see if I can guess which viewpoint you've written your eyewitness report from. Okay, take care, guys. See you next week. Bye bye.